students, today we start with the second unit of artificial intelligence, that is problems, problem spaces and search. In this unit, we are going to cover the topics like defining the AI problems as state space search, production systems, then search and control strategies, problem characteristics, and we also go through some additional problems. AI is concerned with different kinds of problems. Much of the early work in the AI field focuses on the formal tasks such as game playing, theorem proving. In that, one program is developed for checkers playing. And that checkers playing program is not only played the games with the opponent, but it also used its experience at those games to improve its latter performance. Now, after that, the game playing and theorem proving shares the property that people who do them well are considered to be displaying the intelligence. So, in another early days of AI, it is focused on the sort of problem solving that we can do every day when we decide, suppose, how to get to the work in the morning. So what operations we can perform on a daily basis, how we manage the time, how we can allot the time for a particular task. So often it is called as common sense reasoning. It includes the reasoning about the physical objects and their relationships to each other. Now, reasoning about the actions and their consequences means which action we have to follow after which one. That we can decide before going for that particular action. And for that purpose, the general problem solver technique is used. And in AI research, as it is progressed, the techniques for handling the larger amount of work knowledge are also get developed. Now, there is one more ability, that is perception. So, perception of the world around, which is around us, is actually crucial to our survival. The animal with much less intelligence than people are capable of more sophisticated visual perceptions than our current machines. So perceptual tasks are difficult because they involve analog signals. Okay, rather than the digital, they involve the analog signals, and typically they may be very noisy, and usually the large number of things are must be perceived at once, and usually from that we have to get whatever the proper input is. So the problem of perception is important here. Now after that, the ability to use the languages to communicate. So that is also used in artificial intelligence. So the problem of understanding the spoken language is a perceptual problem, and it is hard to solve by reasons as we discussed. But suppose we simplify the problem by restricting it to the written language, then what? The problem usually referred to as a natural language understanding, and it is extremely difficult one. Okay. Now, in addition to that, the mundane task is there. Many people can also perform one or maybe more specialized task in which they requires the expertise, and without that they cannot perform that task. Okay, it includes the engineering design, scientific discovery, medical diagnosis, financial planning. These are that type of tasks. So there are number of programs that can solve the problems in these domains also sometimes get fail under the different circumstances. So that for that different techniques are to be used for that purpose. So here in AI, as we know, it is concerned with the different kinds of a problem, and for every problem there are different techniques to solve those problems. So to build a system or to solve a problem, we need to do four things. Which four things we can do in that? The first thing is define the problem precisely. Now, when we define the problem precisely, under that, this definition must include the precise specification, the exact specification of what the initial situation is or situations are, and as well as what is the final situation, and which is the acceptable solution to the problem that are comes under this first phase. Now the second is analyze the problem. Now a few very important features can have immense impact on the appropriateness of various possible techniques for solving any type of a problem. So to solve any type of a problem, you must understand it properly, what actually the problem is. So we can go for analysis of the problem. Then after that, next is isolate and represent the task knowledge that is necessary to solve the problem. So whatever we analyze, from that we have to isolate as well as we have to represent that knowledge which is we need to solve the particular problem. And the last is choose the best problem solving technique or techniques and apply it to the particular problem. Means as we have a different way to solve a single problem, but from that which way is the better or the best way, that we have to choose first, and then it is applied to solve the particular problem. Now we see how we define the problem as a state space search. Now, the state space search of a problem is equal to searching for a goal state. Means what we do here, we are just searching for the goal state, whatever we want. The state space is the set of states a problem can be in. Means there may be the multiple steps in which or through which the solution can be traced. Now, the problem space. Problem space is nothing but the environment in which the search is going to be takes place, and that is nothing but a set of states or and set of operators to change that states. And problem instance. So there are basically two instances, initial state and goal state. The state space representation forms the basis of the AI methods, and the structure of it is corresponding to the structure of problem solving in two important ways. In the first is it allows for the formal definition of a problem. Means as the need to convert some given situation into some desired situation, for that we can use a set of permissible operation to change the state. So this is first. Now second, it permits us to define the process of solving a particular problem as a combination of known techniques and search. So here what happened, each represented as a rule. Means each technique is represented as a rule defining a single step in a space and search. The general technique of exploring the space to find out some path from the current state to goal state. And search is a very important process in the solution of any type of a problem, for which no more direct techniques are available. Okay, so in order to show the generality of the state space representation, we use it to describe a problem, very different form from that of, for example, the problems are like chess or water jug problem, 8 queens problem, etc. So the first problem which we are going to discuss here is water jug problem. The problem is, suppose you are given two jugs, a 4-gallon one and a 3-gallon one. As in a picture, you can see this is your 4-gallon jug and this is 3-gallon jug. Neither has any measuring mark on each. So there is no any measuring mark on these jugs. There is a pump that can use to fill the jugs with the water. Now, how can you get exactly 2 gallons of water into the 4 gallons of jug? So, what you want? You want 2 gallons of water in a 4 gallons of jug. There is no any measuring mark on a jug, so you cannot measure the water. Okay. So, for this problem, the state space is described as a set of ordered pairs of integers which is called as x and y. So it is shown here x comma y such that what is x? X may be is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4 and y is equal to 0, 1, 2 or 3. So why x is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Because x is considered to be the value of water within a 4-gallon jug. So in a 4-gallon jug there is up to 4-gallon water. So it may be no water or it may be 1 gallon water or maybe 2 gallon water or 3 or 4 gallon of water. Same way Y represents the second one, second jug which may contain maximum 3 gallons of water. So it contains either value 0, 1, 2 or 3. So here it is given where X is the number of gallon of water in the 4-gallon jug and Y is the quantity of water in the 3-gallon jug. Now next, what is the initial state or we also called it as a goal start state and the last state that is goal state. So start state is represented here by using 0, 0 and means empty. Both jugs are empty. And goal state is what? The 2 comma n means 2 gallon water in a 4-gallon jug and any value for second jug that is 3-gallon jug. So for any value of n 2 comma n. Now here we have to make some assumptions. Okay, so we have assumed that we can fill the jug from the pump, that we can pour the water out of the jug onto the ground and also we can pour the water from one jug to another jug and there are no measuring devices are available. Okay. Now to solve the water jug problem, all we need in addition to the problem description given above is a control structure that loops through the simple cycle in which some rules whose left side is going to be matched the current state is going to be choose and the appropriate change to that state is made which as described in a corresponding right side and the resulting state is checked to see if it is a goal state or not. Now for the water jug problem, as with many others, there are several sequence of operations that can solve the problem. Means these sequence of operations are different and using different sequence we can solve the problem with different time limits. One such a sequence we can have in front of you. The problem contains the explicit or implied statement that the shortest such a sequence we have to found. If this type of a sequence is present, this requirement will have a significant effect on the choice of an appropriate mechanism which is used to guide the search for the solution. Okay, now look at here. The first step of solution to this problem. In that, we have two jugs. One is with 4-gallon water and second is with 3 gallons of water. But in the initial stage, both the jugs are empty, means 0, 0, means there is no water in both the jugs. Now in the second step, what we do, we are going to fill the 3-gallon jug with the water. So here we fill the 3-gallon jug. This is your 3-gallon jug and that jug will be filled with the water. Third step, we pour the water from 3-gallon jug into the 4-gallon jug. Okay, so now your 3-gallon jug is empty and your 4-gallon jug contains 3 gallons of water. Now the next step, the step number 4 is fill again the 3-gallon jug with the water. So here we again fill the 3-gallon jug with the water. In step number 5, we are going to pour the 3-gallon jug water into the 4-gallon jug till it is filled. Okay, so because of this operation, what happens? Your 3-gallon jug water contains the 2 gallons of water and 4-gallon jug contains the 4 gallons of water. Now in the next step, we can pour all the water of 4-gallon jug on the ground. So we empty the 4-gallon jug and your 3-gallon jug is as it is with the 2 gallons of water. In the last step, that is step number 7, we can pour the water from 3-gallon jug. That is 2 gallons of water is there in a 3-gallon jug that we can pour into the 4 gallons jug. So what you get? You get 2 gallons of water in a 4 gallons of jug, which is your goal state. So this is the result of this water jug problem. So to solve the problem scientifically, we should convert the informal problem statements into the formal problem descriptions. As shown in this table, we have to generate the production rules of water jug problem. Now, what is this production rules are? Now, to solve this water jug problem, what we need? We need the control structure that loops through the simple cycle in which we can apply some rules, and in that the left side of a rule, when it is matched with the current state we are chosen, then the appropriate changes to that state is made as described into the right side of that rule, and the resulting state is going to be checked and whether it is corresponding to the goal state or not. Okay, the cycle is continuous until you get the goal state. Okay, now in this figure, it shows the production rules of water jug problem. The left side shows the rules or the conditions that must be satisfied before the operator described by the rule can be applied. Now by encoding in the left side of the rule constraints that are not strictly necessary but that restrict the application of the rules to the states in which the rules are most likely to be lead to the solution. So by using these rules, we can increases the efficiency of problem solving. Okay. These are the remaining production rules for water jug problem. There are total 12 production rules we defined to solve the water jug problem. This is the tabular representation of one solution to the water jug problem. In this table, we can represent the quantity of water in 4-gallon jug. The second column represents the quantity of water in 3-gallon jug, and the rule, third column represents the rule which we applied to change the state from one position to another position. What we summarize from this process is, in order to provide a formal description of a problem, we must do some steps. In that, first we have to define the state space, that all the possible configurations of particular object, and also all possible space without explicitly enumerating all of the states must be described. The second step is we have to specify one or more states, that is the initial states, means the state which describes the possible situation from which the problem or problem solving process is started. So there may be one or more initial states. The next step is we have to specify one or more states that are, we can call it as acceptable or solution states of the problem. So these states are called as a goal states. And the next step is we have to specify the set of rules. That set of rules are going to specify the actions, means operators, for solving the particular problem. So for that we required the some issues to be get understand. That is what unstated assumptions we have to use or state here for informal problem description. Then we have to find out how general solutions or general should be the rule which we get easily understand. Then how much of the work required to solve the particular problem, which should be pre-computed and represented in the form of rules. Okay. Thank you, students.